the service. And one of them, who's 16 and a junior in high school, was given a project to talk about the importance of veterans. And I'd like to share this, what she wrote, with you. War, a word that we as Americans hear often, yet cannot comprehend. When we hear the term war, we often reflect on our nation's history and the impact it has had on our generations. From the outside looking in, we see brave soldiers in fancy uniforms protecting us from the bad guys. What we don't see is the pain, the blood, the gory deaths, the sacrifice, and the suffering endured by soldiers and their families. Men and women leave their families and loved ones in hopes that they can continue to bring the people of America freedom and rights we would not otherwise have. They leave their families not knowing if they will return, all to protect the freedoms that we often take for granted. Do we realize that our freedoms greatly cost a brother, a husband, a father, and a friend? Veterans are the men and women that stood up and had the courage to fight on behalf of our nation when necessity demanded their response, playing a vital role in our nation. Veterans are often overlooked and labeled as unimportant. Veterans hospitals lack cleanliness, efficiency, and follow-through. We do not owe them our very way of life. Are they not a picture of what our nation stands for? Veterans do not cease to serve when their time in the military ends. I am proud to say that my grandfather, yours truly, served in the U.S. Air Force during the Vietnam War. At the age of 73, my grandfather continues to serve in one way or another. He is currently involved in the Patriot Guard, an organization composed of veterans serving the community and honoring other veterans. The Patriot Guard attends funerals of those men and women who faithfully served our country. The Patriot Guard in my grandfather's area has buried over 2,500 veterans without families and faithfully attends their funerals in order to give our nation's servants a proper burial. The Patriot Guard rarely knows the veteran whose funeral they are attending. Yet the strings that bind them are just as tight as family. They speak of the deceased with sincere heartbreak and as if they personally knew them. They honor those who died, not even knowing simple details of their lives. Additionally, the Patriot Guard accompanies soldiers at airports, whether being deployed or coming home, and provides support to troops and their families. About a year ago, my grandfather invited our family to attend the burial of a deceased veteran. I have not attended many funerals, so I did not know what to expect, but wanted to support my grandfather in his support of our veterans. As we drove onto the National Cemetery ground, the reality began to hit me as I saw American flags waving in the cool breeze. A sea of headstones was vast, yet only represented a small portion of those who gave their lives for me to be free. Stepping out of the car, I had an overwhelming feeling that I was blessed to be standing amongst true heroes. As taps began to play, I felt both solemn and humble. I watched with great pride as the Patriot Guard, and my grandfather among them, demonstrated love and unity created by serving our country. The common bond of the deceased and the living was grounded in the fact that they understood the true price of freedom. Having discussed with fellow classmates, it became apparent that my generation does not see veterans as important after they have served their time in the military. It is essential for my generation to understand the value of all veterans and their service to our nation, as they have protected the freedoms we enjoy. As Ronald Reagan said in 1961, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children through the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States when men were free. Thank you for your time.
Great granddaughter you got there.
Awesome. You know, you should set us up.
Great granddaughter. You say, you tell her. Thank you.
Jerry said he wanted to read a report that his granddaughter turned in. I said, sure, no problem. I had no idea that she grasped the sheer basic instinct. She got it. She understands. She knows. And she's hopefully awakened. Obviously, she did better in English.